but the queen has been.
What a beautiful shot of the Parliament buildings. Gosh, we live in a beautiful city. Good morning. It's a little bit cold outside, but it's going to be a beautiful day. A lot higher temperatures than what we saw yesterday. So March is Tourette Syndrome Awareness Month, and I've actually over the last couple of days started to see these Trek for Tourette's, this big walk that's happening. So we're starting to see signs and events that are happening around it. Joining us from the Foundation of Canada, from the Tourette Syndrome Foundation, and Christopher Simon. Great to have you on the show.
Thanks for having me.
And so we're going to get to the Trek in just a couple of minutes, but the one thing I wanted to ask you, there are so many different misconceptions. A lot of us think of it as the tics or certain outbursts from people, but it encompasses so much more. Is that right?
Yes, it does. Yeah, Tourette syndrome actually refers to physical motor tics that we typically manifest in simple or complex ways, like a quick clearing of the throat, or a head turn, or a quick roll of the shoulder for the simple ones, up to more complex things like jumping and circles and what people typically think of as the vocal outbursts or things like that. But one of the main misconceptions people don't necessarily know about, and one of the main stigmas propagated by Hollywood and things like that, and popular culture, is the idea of swearing and saying bad words at different times. However, one of the biggest misconceptions is this is actually an associated disorder with Tourette's that's called coprolalia, and it actually occurs in only less than 5% of individuals with Tourette's. So it does occur in people with Tourette's, but much less degree, and there's much more to it than people typically know.
And there are other factors too, right? There are other leading incidences, like you were talking OCD. There are different things that we can associate it with as well.
Yeah. The interesting thing is the tics. I mean, not for everyone, but for many individuals with Tourette's, whether they be the younger ones or the older ones, and specifically for myself, who has Tourette syndrome as well, is not necessarily tics. Those aren't necessarily things that cause them the daily problems, right? They manage them themselves. They've lived them their whole life. The main problems are the associated disorders that typically come with Tourette syndrome, and that occur in typically 4 to 5 people, and these include things, as you mentioned, OCD, ADHD, ADD, sleep disorders, panic disorders, anxiety, depression, we call it the rainbow. That's the
it's an extensive rainbow, though,
yes.
and I can see the need, for research and for funding. For you, though, it's different in different stages of your life. As a child, and you're saying most kids diagnosed around 6 and 7, and then you go through different stages and how you handle it.
Yeah, well, this is one of the reasons why we're having the Trek in March. Is March is very up and down for weather all over the country, so we like to hold the Trek in a month where Tourette's is just as unpredictable as the weather. That's something we always like to say. So this is one of the reasons why we're doing that. And for myself, that's one of the other main points that I wanted to say is that Tourette's typically manifest differently in every person, and within each person it varies over time as well. So you get, when I was younger, I was ticking all over the place. I was rolling my eyes and clearing my throat all the time. And as I got older and matured a little bit, they became a bit more internal. I learned how to internalize them a bit more. I mean, I was fortunate because I have a much milder case than some individuals may have. However,
you did different things, right?
Yes.
You said it tics. You were able to create it into your own movement.
Yeah, I mean, the older you get and the less hormones you have running through your body, the easier it kind of becomes to try to mold some of your tics into a bit more socially acceptable ways. So most of my friends don't even know that I have Tourette syndrome. However, when I was younger, everyone knew.
It was a different situation.
Much more different situation.
There's a wonderful opportunity for people to get involved. So tell us very quickly about the walk that's coming up, the Trek.
Yeah, we have our 4th annual Trek for Tourette. It's a 5-kilometer walk, and this is the 4th year in a row that we've had it down here at the Armory. Which is, I think it's Cartier Square Drill Hall, right down by the canal there by City Hall. And if everyone wants to come out on March 25th, we would welcome anyone to come down. A $50 donation gets family of 4 barbecue. Afterwards, $25 for one person and a barbecue ticket. And if you just want to come out and support and come buy some barbecue items, and that's great. And if you just want to come down and have a good walk on a Sunday morning, then we welcome any sort of information.
It's happening Sunday, March the 25th. It was a pleasure to meet you. And keep in mind, funding going up to the national level. This is happening right across the country, and then will trickle its way back down into the Ottawa sectors. We're going to take a commercial break. We have to check in at the top of the hour. Your 7 o'clock news headlines coming your way right after this.